What's going on, everybody? CGA Got Game here with CGA Sports. Appreciate y'all for being here. Today, we're going to talk about Deshawn Watson. The Cleveland Browns quarterback is going to make his debut this season. First game back since all of the claims had came forward when he was with the Houston Texans. Oddly enough, he's playing against the Houston Texans, his former team, in NRG Stadium. And a curious thing is going to happen at this event that we're going to talk about. But first, if you've been having your head buried in the sand, or you might not be a sports fan, but you're interested in this particular video, Deshawn Watson, formerly of the Houston Texans, was a great quarterback. He was a free agent. He was thinking about not returning to the Houston Texans because of their handling of the management of the team. And right before he was going to stand out and hold out, some claims came out from several women, upwards to 20 and 30 women, that he had been groping them, touching them, assaulting them. And most of these women were massage therapists that he had hired outside of the context of the team. Now, I've done some videos related to this, and oddly enough, it was kind of weird that Deshawn Watson doesn't seem like the type of guy. Personality-wise, he's quiet, he's not boisterous, not very flashy, as far as we know. And this was something that he had been doing quite a bit around Houston. And people had known about it. The team had known about it. People had gave him warnings and all of these things. Now, here's the deal. Many of these women that worked as massage therapists, many of them not licensed. And this is something that probably you assume a massage therapist would do, provide a little bit of a happy ending, as we call it. Deshawn Watson was scheduling these women to visit the Jack Shack. Now, the timing of him holding out against the Houston Texans was weird because obviously you got him in a situation where the team knew about these things. Deshawn Watson's holding out against the team, and then all of a sudden, as he's holding out, the allegations come forward. All right. Now, many of these allegations in these women, the women are anonymous. They were represented by, many of them represented by one attorney who apparently had connections with the owners of the Houston Texans, but people have watched that over. And many of these women decided to settle with Deshawn Watson for an undisclosed amount. We don't know what the amount is, but many of them had settled their lawsuit. Since they settled their lawsuit, it's essentially water under the bridge, right? So in the time Houston Texans are dealing with this, Deshawn Watson gets traded or available for the Cleveland Browns, who signed him to an amazing deal. And if you don't know, Deshawn Watson is an amazing electric quarterback, and signed him to a 5-year, $40 million deal. With $44 million in signing bonuses and all of these things, right in the middle of a time where he could be suspended by the NFL for upwards of 2 years. People thought he would be suspended for like 2 years for this particular thing. And at this point, he had not negotiated a settlement with any of the women. So the Cleveland Browns could have walked off with egg on their face if Deshawn Watson was indeed signed to this mega deal and then suspended for 2 years. Well, as a result, Deshawn Watson was suspended for 11 games. Originally, I believe it was 5 games, but they went through some sort of arbitration, the NFL, the Players Association, and so forth. And they extended the suspension to 11 games with him being away from the team for 8 weeks or so, and fined him $5 million, which if you look at his new contract, that's a slap on the wrist. Many people were offended by that. All right, so to catch you up on this situation, the women have settled. But now he's scheduled to make his debut for the first time since his suspension, and the first time in a couple of seasons. He's scheduled to make his debut against the very same team that got him in trouble. I mean, what are the coincidences of that? What are the chances of that? So he's playing in Houston. Okay, he's going to bring the Cleveland Browns to Houston. He's making his debut. And of course, people can't let bygones be bygones. Let me show you what's going on here. Here we go. Some of the women who settled the lawsuit in the Deshawn Watson case, they're going to attend the game. So the game is in Houston. All right, he's coming there. He's like, hey, look, we settled. What's the non-disclosure related to this? So they're still salty. They're still salty about this. They want him to have deeper and harder consequences and repercussions. Okay, I can understand that. But why are you going to go to the game and disrupt the entire thing? You got your money. All right, you got your money.
I got money.
What the hell's going on? It says right here, let's read this article about this. It says with nearly all of the more than 24 lawsuits filed against Deshawn Watson having been settled, most of the women who are accusing the Cleveland Brown quarterback of sexual misconduct have no interest in returning to Houston on Sunday and just want to move on with their lives, according to their attorney. But attorney Tony Busby said about 10 women of those that accused Deshaun Watson of sexual harassment and assault during the massages are planning to attend Sunday's game at NRG Stadium in Houston, where the Browns will take on the Texans and watch him play in its return from the 11-game suspension. Some of the women really want to attend the game to kind of make a statement. What's the statement? All right, many of these people were anonymous. All right, several of them dropped their lawsuits when it was said that they were supposed to reveal their names and who they were and what their lifestyle were, right? Many of them did not want to go to a trial and they wanted to settle, but now they settled. They got their money.
I got money.
And now they want to appear at the game to do what? It says right here to make a statement. What statement? You got your money. Jeez, man. Listen, you got your money in the bag. He said, hey, we're still here. We matter. Our voices were heard, and this is not something that's over. What? It's over. It says harassment and assault happens every day in the United States, Busby says. And the women declined to comment ahead of Sunday's game. I wonder what they're going to do. Wear T-shirts? What are they going to do right there? I'm really curious as to why they're seeking this type of attention after everything should be, was swept under the rug. You made a deal, you got paid. It says the women declined to comment. An NFL spokesman also did not immediately reply to an email. I love how they try to reach out to sources. These media people, they send an email. Oh, I reached out. They weren't available to comment. Watson was still with the Texans when more than 20 women alleged that he exposed himself, touched them, and kissed them against their will during massage therapy sessions. All right. One woman alleged that Watson forced her to give her sloppy toppy. 25 women represented by Busby filed lawsuits. One woman dropped her lawsuit when required to amend her claim to include her name to proceed. All right. And she was like, nope, I'm out of here. And 23 others settled their case in August. They got out of there. They got their money. In July, 30 women who had accused the Texans of turning a blind eye to the allegations against the former star quarterback settled their legal claims against the team. What in the world is going on? So they got double paid. Look at this. Yeah. So they got paid on both ends. This is called double ending a deal. Watson, who was traded to the Browns in March, has long denied any wrongdoing, which he could if you settle the case. And 2 Texas grand juries declined to indict him. Boy, just because you settle a lawsuit does not mean you're guilty, does not even mean that you are admitting guilt. Many times you just want to get this thing done with, and the evidence or the process that the other attorney is running against you is too much for you to handle, and you can afford to just get rid of the case. Not only that, 2 grand juries declined to indict him. So that says a lot about what you're dealing with. Nothing is clear cut. And of course, if it went to trial, many of these women's private lives probably would have been revealed. And they probably knew that to force him to settle. Anyway, Rusty Hardin, Watson's lead attorney, declined to comment on Watson's return. All right. Citing confidentiality agreements from the settled lawsuit. See, that's my question is, if there's a confidentiality agreement from the lawsuit, how are the 10 women able to show up and publicly demonstrate their presence, demonstrate potentially or distract the Browns and the Texans from doing what they're doing? How are they able to do this and provide comment if there's a confidentiality agreement? One woman represented by Busby declined to settle, and he expects the case will go to trial. Nope. It says right here, the latest pending lawsuit, which there was a woman that came out right when I believe he was supposed to be unsuspended. There was a woman that came out, or right when the season started, she threw in a last claim at the last minute. And it says the latest pending lawsuit was filed last month by a woman who alleged that Watson pressured her into her giving him sloppy toppy. So anyway, oh man, this seems like an absolute mess. And unfortunately, people can't put things behind them, or they're attention seeking or something like that. And they're prolonging things that should be swept. It should be water under the bridge. Everybody's got their money. The attorneys got paid. And I'm assuming that confidentiality agreement prevents them from getting any camera time, talking specifically about the case, writing a book or so forth, or writing a blog or creating TikToks. So I probably am going to assume that you're not going to see any of the women doing this. But the fact that they're going to try to go there to distract him should be enough to violate that confidentiality agreement. And I would sue the pants off of these women and get my money back. But look, what say you? This is an opportunity for you to provide your commentary on this channel about this situation, man. And appreciate you, man. Like and subscribe to this channel. We'll have some more sports videos coming up. And we out of here. Peace.